Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of our Lion Fight Zoom chats. Really excited to be joined. Well, I guess Justin's here, so we're always excited to have Justin around, but we're more excited this week to be joined by Selina Flores, who is just outside of San Diego, and a big fight coming up for her on October 8th, live on UFC Fight Pass from Los Angeles. So just up the road for her. She will be taking on Natalie Morgan for the Lion Fight North American Super Bantamweight title. Selina, really glad to have you on here. I hope everything's going well for you in your training.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, awesome. So we talked to Natalie about a week or so back, and wanted to bring this up because it was she brought us some news that was pretty interesting. When she was a little bit younger, and you were a lot younger, you used to spar with her or kind of get do some training with her. I think you were in maybe high school, and she was just kind of finished high school. So can you take us back in time a little bit and tell us maybe about some of those training sessions with the girl that you'll now be fighting for a title against?
Yeah, so my first national tournament, it's called TBA. That was one of my biggest ones that I ever did. And she actually helped me get ready for that tournament. So I drove up to LA. Like you said, I'm from San Diego. Drove up there. She helped me spar. We sparred together. And then I went a couple other times other than that. So yeah, we're friends. Yeah, it's going to be exciting for us to kind of run it back basically from sparring to a fight now. So kind of funny, kind of what happens because there's not very many girls. So we're all bound to run into each other in a fight situation. So yeah.
Now, obviously, a lot has changed since back then. For those people
Yes.
that haven't seen you fight, you're brand new to Lion Fight, but for those people that haven't seen you fight yet, tell us, number one, what your best attributes in the ring are, and number two, what you're working on the most as far as improving for your title fight.
Yeah. I feel like my style has changed a lot recently since my last fight with Glory, which was about like a year and a half ago. I've changed tremendously, and I feel like I'm just changing every single fight more and more. But basically, my style right now and what I'm working on right now is a lot of footwork, a lot of movement. I've incorporated boxing into my camps like a lot more than I have before. So I'm actually splitting my time between boxing and Muay Thai right now, which is something that I've never done. So we're working a lot of boxing, a lot of head movement, definitely just a lot of movement in general. Being able to kind of deal with more forward pressure people, which is great because that's exactly what she's going to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And then, as you mentioned, you got pretty extensive kickboxing background, but you do have quite a bit of Muay Thai as well. Do you look at improving certain aspects of Muay Thai, in particular, maybe the clinch and throwing elbows?
Yeah, well, I have only had one kickboxing fight actually, so I would say that I'm more so familiar with Muay Thai. That's my background. I have like about 30 fights of Muay Thai and only one kickboxing. So I would say it was definitely a transition to get used to doing elbows again because for like about a year or so I was like, no elbows, can't do any elbows because it was kickboxing, so it's like I have to take it out of my head. But now I'm able to just kind of bring it back, and it's all coming back, and yeah, I'm feeling good about it.
What is the toughest thing for you to do in preparation for the fight? Maybe particularly the last week of the fight. Is it any last minute adjustments? Is it the final couple of pounds for the cut? What do you find the most difficult, or the most sort of agonizing about the week of the fight?
um I would say mentally is the biggest thing for me. Physically, I'm great. My weight is great right now. How I feel about like my sparring and my technique and everything and my ring IQ, everything feels great. For me, the only thing that I have to focus on from this point going forward when the fight's getting closer is just the mental aspect of it, making sure that I'm locked in, making sure that I am, yeah, just basically locked in and I am prepared for whatever kind of happens during the fight, and that I'm mentally there the whole time.
going to go back in time again a little bit with talking to, in that area of when you were, beginning in training, and you talked about training with Natalie back then. What initially got you started into the combat sports and then into Muay Thai? Was there anyone that you were particularly following and you wanted to do that, or was it just you had a yen to get into combat sports?
I was actually my parents. So I was a sophomore in high school and they wanted me just to learn how to defend myself. So they were going around looking for different gyms, trying to find one for me in the area. So we ended up finding one. Turned out to be an MMA gym, but they had a Muay Thai program. So I tried all of their classes. I tried boxing, grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and Muay Thai was the thing that I ultimately just fell in love with. So I kept doing that. So it was really just my parents. They actually forced me to do it, and I absolutely hated it. And I was crying that whole first week, and I was so mad at them. But I'm sure they didn't expect me to get here, but here I am.
And now, how cool is it that you hated it at the beginning, and now you've got a chance to win a pretty prestigious title?
Yeah, it's super ironic, but they are super supportive, and they're at every fight they can be at. So it's really cool. It's kind of a cool story, but yeah.
What did you not like about it at the start? Was it just the physicality of it, or just being forced to do something?
Yeah, I think a mix of both. Because when you're a kid and your parents tell you you have to do something, you don't really want to do it. And also, I just did a lot of I did cheerleading and gymnastics as a kid. And so the transition to getting punched in my face was a little rough for me as a 15-year-old. So I just didn't like it really very much. And then it grew on me for sure, obviously. But,
And now you don't mind that aspect of it. I'll get punched in the face once in a while. It's okay, right?
yeah, no, it's okay to get punched in the face every now and then.
The bruises heal, right? So
yeah.
you have this opportunity coming up. Let's talk about that. What would it mean for you to enter into Lion Fight, have this fight, a couple hours from your house, and be able to come away from that event with the North American title?
It would mean a lot. I mean, it's only my second pro fight, so I didn't expect to have a title fight so soon, but the opportunity is there, so I'm going to take it, and it's really exciting. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to win a title as a professional now. Like, I have amateur titles, but the titles really don't mean so much to me. It's more so the fight, and I am getting to a point where I am focused more on the actual fight than the win or the belt or the trophy or whatever it is. It's more so my progression at this point. As an amateur, I really focused on like belts. I really wanted belts. I wanted to win. And now I feel like as I'm growing up, it's really not about that at all. And it's all about what you do inside of the ring. And that's just what I'm most excited about, is just having a fight in general, because COVID, okay. I didn't have a fight for the longest time. And now I have one, and I'm stoked. And especially for it to be in LA, all my friends and my family can come out. So that's awesome. I'm really excited.
So put that into perspective then, in terms of the belt, maybe not your number one focus, let's say, but in the world of professional fighting, that is the ultimate prize, is the belts along the way. So taking in mind, let's say you do come away with this belt, how long of a process do you feel it would be before you're at the world title stage?
I think it just depends on how well I do in this fight. It could come quick, it could take a while. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of here for the ride.
Okay. What do you like best about after the weigh-in is all done? Let's go, right to the fight week. What do you like best? Do you like to go and relax? Do you like to go eat? What do you like to do in those
I just like
final?
To eat everything in sight.
All right. What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy the most after, as far as eating?
I think the question is, what do I not enjoy? Because I enjoy everything. Yeah, I just carbs for me. I love carbs a little too much. Carbs are my favorite. Other than that, yeah, just carbs in general. Okay. Every type of carb.
Yeah. All right. So now we've done the weigh-in. You've filled up on carbs. How do you see this title fight going? Do you have you don't have to get into specifics of a game plan, but do you have a certain style of fight that you want to bring? Do you have a certain approach that you're going to bring to this fight against Natalie Morgan on October 8th?
Yeah, I think I have just been focusing a lot on myself. So I'm gonna say footwork, boxing, and then my kicks are always something that just naturally that I just love to do. So kicking, teeps, obviously I love teeps so much. So just a good, I think what I'm trying to go for is like being well-rounded. So no
Okay.
matter what position that I'm put in during this fight, I'm able to kind of work my way through, get to where I want to be, or stay there if I need to. Just kind of being able to be wherever.
Do you have a mindset then that you have to do what you do best, or do you have to watch what Natalie does and then kind of uh, combat what she does?
I think it should be a mix of both. I definitely want to focus on myself, but I'm also focusing on being able to read things that my opponent is doing and then adjust what I'm doing off of that. So that's kind of the mentality that we've been working on for this camp, just like thinking a little bit more. Because before I used to just go in there and not think at all, and which is good to just kind of react. But I think I want to, think a little bit more while I'm in there.
What are you going to think about if that belt gets put around your waist?
I'm probably gonna think about more carbs. What I'm gonna eat.
It's just I'm
What
done
I'm
fighting.
gonna
I got to
eat.
go eat.
Yeah.
See ya. Yeah.
What I'm gonna eat for dinner that night, probably. Maybe some ice cream. I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's your
But I'm
that's
gonna
your
be
cel
happy. Yeah.
that's your celebration. Is
Yeah.
all right. Excellent.
Sorry, you kind of cut out,
Oh,
but yeah.
sorry. You were going to get into ice cream mode after the
Oh yeah,
fight. Is
ice
that
cream
yeah?
mode. Rocky
Yeah.
Road, chocolate, peanut butter. I'm ready.
Okay, excellent. Good stuff. Well, hey, Selena, thank you so much for doing this. We're really looking forward to seeing you. Again, it's October 8th in Los Angeles at Commerce Casino. Tickets at lionfight.com, of course. And if you can't be there in person, watching around the world live on UFC Fight Pass, it's going to be a great show. Co-main event that night, Natalie Morgan against Selina Flores for the Lion Fight Super Bantamweight North American title. Selena, thank you so much for doing this, and we will see you very soon inside the ring.
All right. Thank you for having me. See you
All
soon.
right.